Hello and welcome back to PKIdeas short number 4 of the whole series and the third video for 2015. Today what we're going to look at is a game between Adolf Anderssen and Lionel Kieseretsky. So this game was played in London in 1851, so it's quite an old game, and the reason that I'm showing you this game is because of the tactical possibilities within the game and because of the beauty of the game. So firstly, the game started off as e4 and e5, followed by f4, e takes f4, bishop c4, queen h4, king f1, b5, bishop takes, knight f6, knight f3, and queen to h6 was played. Now this position was quite common back in these days, and especially between these two players, Anderssen and Kieseretsky, because they have played quite an amount of games, and in almost every game that Anderssen was white, Kieseretsky has played the same opening over and over again, but with different variations. So what happened here now is that white played d3. Here, as you can see in this position, black has developed his queen out too early, and that white is not down a pawn, because notice here that the f pawn has been taken and the b pawn has been taken as well. So therefore it's quite an equal position where white is, I think, ahead in development because he has developed two minor pieces, but black has developed his queen, which is not recommended that much early in the opening, and the only minor piece that he has developed is his knight. And so if you take some positional analysis here, the black queen is kind of stuck here. His possibilities are only here, and he doesn't have anywhere else that much to go to. So a queen being immobilized to only two squares in the opening is kind of a disadvantage if you develop it too early. So therefore what black played was knight to h5. I think what he's trying to do here is try and go for this old cheapo right here, which is a check, and then afterwards take this rook. And so white played knight to h4, which was a bad move. What should have been played was rook to g1. After rook g1, it's planning to play g4, attacking this knight, and know that black cannot take like this, because bishop takes queen is a threat. So queen b6 should have been played, knight c3, c6, bishop c4, queen c5, queen e2. Here the position is a clear advantage for white. White can go on to win the game quite easily here because of his positional advantage. He has developed nearly all of his pieces except these two, and black has not developed any of these pieces. The only pieces that he has developed are the knight and the queen. So now we go back to the position after knight to h4. Here queen g5 was played, and knight to f5, c6, g4, bad move was played. Now here g4 is a bad move, mainly because of the move g6, attacking the knight. Knight to d4 has to be moved, and then bishop to g7, c3, bishop takes, c takes, queen takes, knight to c3, queen b6, g takes h5, queen takes d4, queen f3, bishop a6, king e2, g5, rook d1, and then d6, good move. Here in this position, the white king is kind of stuck in the center right here. His only path of escape is usually around here to get his king to the safest possible spot. Otherwise, if he goes towards the queen side, there's a high chance that he'll be checkmated over here. So now we go back to knight to f6. After knight f6, what happened was rook g1 was played. Again, black makes a mistake of playing c takes b5. Now, as you can see here, the obvious reason that white has left his bishop on pre is that he has purposefully planned to threaten an attack. So after c takes b5, let's see what happened. h4 was played. And what h4 does is that it attacks the queen. The queen is kind of cramped in this position. The only move is queen g6, and h5 is played, attacking the queen once again. So now what black plays is queen g5 again. Notice that back in this position, when the pawn was on h4, he couldn't play back the queen back to g5. So now he can. So queen g5, queen f3, knight to g8, which now makes sure that black has only developed his queen, which shouldn't be the only piece that you develop in a chess game. So here, as you can see, the amount of pieces developed for black is 1, and that is the queen, which you shouldn't develop in the opening. And so this rook, knight, this, that. So 6 pieces in black's position have not moved from their starting square, and it's already been moved number 14, which means he has typically wasted 14 moves getting his queen out. So now bishop takes f4 was played. Queen to f6, knight c3, bishop c5, and then knight to d5. Queen takes b2, and then bishop to d6. After bishop d6, what it does is that it threatens to make him take on d6 or take the rook on g1. So Kieseretsky obviously fell for the trap on g1 and did bishop takes g1. So after bishop takes g1, e5 is played, queen takes a1, king e2, and then knight to a6 was played, which is a typical blunder, because here what I want you to do is to pause the video for about 2 to 3 minutes or however long you want and try to find checkmate in 3. Remember, it is forced and it is quite a nice checkmate. Alright, so have you found it? The move is knight takes g7. After knight takes g7, king to d8 is forced. After which, if you found it, queen f6 is the main move, decoying the knight away from this square over here. So knight takes f6 and then bishop to e7, checkmate. That was a very nice game which displayed tactics a lot. However, you should not play a game like this because of the amount of mistakes made from both sides. So let's go back to the first mistake that was made. The first mistake was developing the early, because in a chess game you shouldn't do that. You should develop your minor pieces out first, knights before bishops, and then your queens out and your major pieces out. Make sure to always castle in development as well. So now we go here. The first mistake played was d3. d3 should not have been played. Knight c3 should have been played like we saw before, and the game would go on. This is a positional mistake because you can develop one of your pieces out instead of developing your pawns. Here in this position, d3 did not do anything because you're developing a pawn, and so knight c3 is the same move guarding the pawn on e4, but it has a good thing about it that you're developing a piece instead of a pawn. So now after d3, the next mistake was played was the next move, knight to h5, going for a cheapo. And then the next move was a mistake as well, after knight to h4, because of the fact that rook g1 is a better move, and knight h4, g6 can be played. After knight h4, g6 can be played, and after these two moves, this position is just good for black, because black's king can castle and his king is safe, whereas white's king is a bit too out in the open. So now we go back. Lots of mistakes in this game. c6, another mistake. Afterwards, g4, once again another mistake. Whereas here, as we saw before, g6 was the move to play, and this would have been a win for black. And so after this, rook g1, c takes b5, once again another mistake from black, going for the decoy. And so what black should have done is not taken and played h5, which would also go into an advantageous position for black in this position. As you can see, that two knights have developed and white's two knights are doing absolutely nothing in this position. There is no attack for white. So now we go back, go through the game again, takes, scrolling through the game, and then we see knight to d5, another not recommended move. What should have been played is d4, which is a good move here, attacking the queen as well. Instead of playing knight to d5, should have been playing d4, attacking the queen, trying to trap the queen in, and also attacking the rook and a8. So now here, bishop d6. Once again, bishop takes g1, not recommended. After which e5 was played, queen takes a1, once again, king e2, and this game is just a win for white because of the checkmating attack that we saw. So once again guys, thank you for watching. Hope you learned something from this game, that always develop your pieces out quickly, and also make sure to think about moves before you play them, because mistakes were made all throughout this game, and sometimes when you're improving, it is true that you make mistakes, but when you come to a good level, what you have to do is to make sure you have less mistakes during your game. So now, I hope you guys liked it. please subscribe to the channel, and also like, share, comment below. If you have any questions, please ask in the comment sections below, or if you think that I should do a video on a specific game, please tell me as well. Or if you want me to do a video about your games and analyze them, I will gladly do so as well. So that being said, thank you, and I'll see you next time.
She has seen, oh, the meaner side of me. They took away the prophet's dream for a prophet on the street. Now she's stronger than you know. A heart of steel starts to grow.